Welcome to the online tutorial for editing a static web page. The first thing that you need to do is log in your control panel. You can find that by typing in your domain name followed by a / and the word Cpanel for control panel. You'll be prompted for your username and password. I should have given you that when you signed up for your hosting. Once you do that, you will come to a screen that looks similar to this. This is for a client whose website I am currently working on. Now, this web tutorial is going to show you how to make simple edits. I want to stress before we get too far into this that you should be very careful when making HTML edits through the control panel. There is an HTML editor in here that is relatively easy to use, but do not allow its simplicity to be misleading. If you try to do too much with this HTML editor, you will inadvertently add a lot of unnecessary code behind the scenes and potentially break the functionality of the website. So this method is only intended to make very simple edits, spelling changes, maybe write a couple extra sentences, things like that. Any stylization changes, I would recommend contacting me and allowing me to do the design changes for you. That being said, this is how you do it. You scroll down in your control panel to the File Manager. Click on the File Manager. A screen will pop up. Basically, you always want to start in the root directory. There's other directories and subdirectories and things like that, but the web root directory is where all of the files are that display your website. So that's basically your home page directory. When you type in www.yoursite, you go to the web root directory, and the files that make the page appear are there. Okay, so select Go, and then we get to an area like this, and this is a list of all of the files. Some of these are going to be files that you don't know what they are. Leave those files alone. Generally speaking, unless you have a very elaborate website, all of the pages are going to be individual HTML files in the parent directory. That is to say, if there's an About Us page, it's probably going to be called about.html. If there's a food is good page, it's probably going to be called goodfood.html, etc., etc., etc. In this instance, on this example, what I'm going to want to edit is the upcoming events page. And here, I'll show you the site that we're editing. This is essentially the site that we're editing here. And let me scoot it down. You can see here, these are the pages. We've got the home, the About Us, upcoming events, raw food info, etc. But the upcoming events page doesn't have much information. Okay, so I'm sure this client at some point is going to want to put some events that are coming up. So in order for them to do that, what they need to do is go back to the control panel and see if they can figure out what HTML page here is the page that is the upcoming events. And if we look down here, it's called events. Okay, I was looking for upcoming, but I named it events. So we select it, make sure that that is the only one that is selected. It'll be highlighted, have a little check mark there. And then we go up here, there's a button, it's HTML Editor. Okay, now this is going to open a window, and it tries to automatically detect the encoding. I would just trust them because I don't even know what a lot of these are. So I just would, whatever it says, just trust them. And if you have a static site, the likelihood that there's very complex design coding is pretty unlikely. So so we say edit, and then we open this window. And it opens a super nifty, neato screen that shows essentially your website. Now, this is where, again, this is going to be misleading. It's going to seem like you're just going to be able to click around on here and do whatever you want. I would recommend against doing that. For this example, what we can do is just straight highlight this and type it in just like a word processor. So let's say upcoming events, we want to say next Saturday, meet Carrot Top. Now this is of course not a real event at the carrot spectacular. Okay. Now let me show you something real quick. Okay. Let's say you want next Saturday to be bold. Okay. You might think, hey, look, there's a bold button up here. Let me press it. Okay. It did not work. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. The problem is that this site is trying to stylize stuff inline. Okay. When I build you a site, there are going to be all kinds of different files that affect the way that the information is presented, and those are going to be external files that are very hard for somebody who isn't familiar with HTML and CSS to be able to edit. Okay, so just basically what I'm saying is, even though these buttons look just like word processor buttons, and it should be real easy just to press them and to make changes, it does not work that way in many cases. Now, if you press bold and it actually makes it bold, then great. You know, that was the way that your site was set up. But it isn't really the correct way to do it, so try to keep those type of stylizations to a bare minimum. Okay, so let's see, I did a undo right there. So now we've got next Saturday, meet Carrot Top in the spectacular. Okay, that's a really basic edit. Okay, now you can hit return and you can type another one straight like that. Any additional stuff I recommend against. Now you can go through and try. Let's see. There's the, bullet button. Let's see if that works. No, again, that does not work. We can highlight it. Oops. Any rate, what I would recommend is just doing that. And it'll work too. Like let's say that there was a sentence and there was a word misspelled, or you wanted to add a small piece of information. This would be the way to do it. Okay, and then we hit save. Okay, now let's go to Rockstar Cafe. Let's refresh this page. Aha, it says next Saturday meet Carrot Top at the Carrot Spectacular. Okay, so it worked. Okay, now this page is live, so I'm going to change this before anybody sees it. But that's how you do it.